4:30. At the appointed place. We were on time. We never came down.
The two men in this photograph were television repairmen from the Brazilian coast. In August of 1966, they put on their best suits, climbed a hillside above the city of Niterói, and kept an appointment that no one, in 60 years, has ever been able to explain. August 20th, 1966. 18-year-old Jorge da Costa Alves was flying a kite on the Morro do Vintém, a steep hill of rock and scrub overlooking Niterói, across the bay from Rio de Janeiro. Following his kite line through the tall grass, he came onto a small clearing near the summit, and what he saw there sent him running down the slope. The hillside was so steep that the authorities only reached the spot the following day. What the police found had no precedent in their files. Two grown men lying side by side on pressed grass, partly covered by vegetation. Dressed in formal suits. Over the suits, waterproof raincoats, though it had not rained. No wounds. No blood. No sign of any struggle whatsoever. And covering the eyes of each man, cut and bent by hand from sheets of solid metal of masks made of lead. Manuel Pereira da Cruz was 32 years old. Miguel José Viana was 34. They lived nearly 300 kilometers up the coast, in the town of Campos dos Goytacazes, where they worked as electronics technicians, practical, methodical men who repaired television sets for a living, and were good with their hands. Worth noting, the masks found on their faces had been cut by someone who knew how to work metal. On August 17th, 3 days before the kite, the two men closed the workshop and told their families they were leaving on business. Manuel said he was going to buy electronic materials. Miguel told his brother something different, that he was going to buy a car. Before leaving town, they withdrew a significant amount of money. Two stories that don't match, one journey, and a pocket full of cash. They traveled down the coast to Niterói, a city where, as far as anyone has ever established, nobody was expecting them. From that point on, their final hours survive only in the memories of strangers, a shop clerk, a waitress, a boy with a kite. Each of them noticed something. None of them knew, that afternoon, that they were watching two men keep a schedule, almost to the minute. Niterói, August 17th. Their first known stop is a shop in the center of the city, where they buy two waterproof raincoats. The purchase makes no sense. The day is dry, the sky is clear, and the two men are already sweating in their dark suits. Whatever it is they are preparing for, they seem convinced of one thing, that ordinary clothing will not be protection enough. A few streets from the base of the hill, they stop at a small bar. The waitress will remember Miguel with unusual clarity. He buys a single bottle of mineral water, and he is visibly nervous, checking his wristwatch again and again, as if the afternoon were a countdown. He is not killing time. He is keeping an appointment. And he already knows the exact hour it begins. Late that afternoon, witnesses see the two men for the last time, climbing the trail that winds up the Morro do Vintém, two figures in dark suits carrying raincoats under a clear sky. No one climbs after them. No one hears a shout, sees a struggle, or notices a third man. When they are found, 3 days later, almost nothing at the scene will explain what happened here. Almost nothing. Beside them lies a notebook. The notebook contained a single page of handwritten instructions. It reads, 16:30, be at the determined place. 18:30, ingest capsules. After the effect, protect metals. Await the signal of the mask. 4:30, the appointed place. If those words sound familiar, they are the words you heard at the very start of this film. Read as a checklist, the scene rearranges itself. Item 1, the men were on the hill well before dark. Item 2, the empty mineral water bottle at their side, the same bottle Miguel bought hours earlier, suggests the capsules were swallowed on schedule. Item 3, the lead masks were in place, over their eyes. Whatever this procedure was, the evidence says they completed every step of it. The only thing that never arrived, it seems, was the signal. The final piece came from the men's own circle back in Campos. Manuel and Miguel belonged to a group devoted to what they called scientific spiritism, sessions that attempted contact, not with the dead, but with intelligences from somewhere else. They believed that when contact finally came, it would arrive as light, a brightness intense enough to burn the eyes. The masks were not a costume. Cut from lead, like a radiologist's shield, they were protection for something the two men fully expected to see. The autopsies were carried out in Niterói, and they answered nothing. The examiners found two otherwise healthy men with no reason to be dead, no wounds, no fractures, no marks of violence, no signs of struggle or restraint. 3 days of tropical heat on that hillside had already narrowed what any examiner could hope to find. On paper, nothing had killed them. Everything now depended on toxicology, the one science that could say whether those capsules held medicine, sedative, or poison. It failed. The laboratory techniques of 1966 came back with nothing, no substance identified, no dose measured, no cause of death established. Whatever was, or was not, inside the two men on that hillside, the chemistry of the era could not see it. The single question at the heart of this case went unanswered. It has stayed unanswered ever since. Decades later, forensic reviewers reopened the file and reached an unsettling verdict. Poisoning was possible, some argued probable, but with nothing left to test, it could never be confirmed. And one detail kept pulling the case back down to earth: the money the two men had withdrawn in Campos. It fed a colder suspicion that somebody, somewhere, had known exactly how much they were carrying up that hill. 3 explanations have fought over this hillside for 60 years. The first looks up: the men were contactees, guided to the hill to meet a craft and its light, and something about that encounter killed them. The second looks inward: a spiritist experiment that followed its own script into disaster, capsules included. The third looks down: no mystery at all, just poison, a swindler, and 2 trusting men who were worth robbing. But press on any of the 3, and it bleeds. If this was robbery, why leave a scene so elaborately staged, and how do you poison 2 men without leaving a single trace? If it was an experiment gone wrong, what substance stops 2 hearts and then vanishes from every test? And if something truly came down over the Morro do Vintém that evening, it left no burn, no mark, no witness. Only 2 men who dressed for it. Every answer explains half the evidence. No answer explains it all. Which brings us back to the photograph. 4:30, at the appointed place. They were on time. The waitress's memory, the wristwatch, and the note all agree on that. They did everything they had been told to do. And then they waited, side by side, behind their lead masks, for a signal that history never recorded. The Morro do Vintém still stands over Niterói. The file is still open. And the 2 men in the photograph are still waiting for the rest of us to work out why they never came down.